Welcome to Bonsteel Bros Game Pitch Pros. I'm Brian Bonsteel.
I'm Neil Bonsteel.
And I'm Dominic Venutti.
This is Dom. He's joining us this week. Maybe next week. We'll see. Anyway, let's get started.
Come on, let's introduce Dom. Dom and I used to work together for about 6 years.
Yeah.
On a sinking ship, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah. And you worked there for 6 years. I was more like 4.
Oh, that sucks.
You're a developer as well, is that right?
Yeah, I'm more of the art side of things. But ever since working at that studio with Neil, I've gotten way more into game design. Got a bunch of little projects all over the place on my plate.
Cool.
And now that I'm in LA, I'm hoping to get into an indie studio, big studio, doesn't matter. I just want to be part of the world.
Good.
Dom is a fantastic artist, and he's about to show us up.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
Well, Dom, what are you playing these days?
Well, I'm a big stickler for nostalgia. It takes a lot more to get me to play a new game than it does to play a game. So right now, I'm back into the Katamari Damacy series.
Ooh, fun game.
It's a super zen experience for me. I don't even have to do well. I just like being there. I like mindlessly rolling.
That's just a weird juxtaposition. That's the Zen game. When you got I don't know. It seems like a very loud, colorful, and zany game. You're like,
very true. You got people screaming because you're rolling up the children into the giant ball that you're going to throw into the sky, turn into a star. But it's Zen for me. Maybe not for them. It's a really innovative game design. There's been a couple copycats since, just because it's so out there and cool that it's a really fun experience that you don't get in a lot of other places. And above all, it's unique. And so every time I play it, it sort of serves as an inspiration for whatever I'm working on. I want to make something as groundbreaking as this.
I want to talk about Tetris 99, which one of my streamers I was following started to play that on Friday, invited chat to come in and play. I was like, oh yeah, let me just dust that off and give it a shot. My best chance of ever winning that game was when it first came out, when there weren't many users on there. But now I have to wait till the Switch is about to be dead for me to win. The only way I'm winning is if there aren't humans playing that game.
As I recall, somebody made the point that some of the best players are called Love to Grill, 49.
Yeah.
It's like dads and people's grandma on there destroying everybody. It's like, oh, all right.
Hey, Brian, what are you playing?
Hey! Okay, so I went through my wish list on my Switch, and I found this one called Where the Bees Make Honey. It was for 99 cents, marked down from $7. And for some reason, I bookmarked it, and I looked at it. I looked at the trailer again, and it was like, okay, it's award, winner, and all this narrative, special, all these kind of commendations. And I was like, oh, okay, well, 99 cents, can't be too bad, right? So I downloaded it, and I kind of want my 99 cents back.
Uh-oh.
It was made by an artist. So you can tell that there was a lot of thought put into parts of it, particularly textures.
Not the character design.
Not that thing. That's at the end of every
This would have
collection.
been an immediate turnoff for me.
That's the thing, is they don't show that in the trailer, and you can't screen cap in the context of the game. So every time I try to get one of these absurd glitches and get a screen cap of it, it's like, nope, sorry, can't do it.
Wow. Which
is unfortunate because some of them were pretty hilariously bad. There's not a lot to do with there's nothing to do with actual bees. There's a bee costume that the girl wears.
Sounds like it got away from them, whatever they were trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so last week I was given the challenge of a laborer survival horror game.
Yes, you were.
Yes, I was. And I will be asking for some ideas and feedback from the group here, because this was a little idea that I think could be expanded or made more interesting. Anywho, the game is called Night Rails.
Snail rails.
Winter descends upon Canada in 1885. The weather is getting colder and the days much, much shorter. You are a simple laborer who is trying to cross your entire country via train. But the catch is, you have to build the tracks as you go along. So the path you take is your choice. You get to decide where you put down these train tracks to get your little train going. However, there are, as you are crossing 1885 terrain, there are a lot of hazards, like rivers to cross or potential avalanches if you attempt to pass through the mountain, bogs, muddy terrain, to makes building more difficult and so forth. So the rail building supply, your rail building supply capacity is limited, but you can always restock by cutting down available trees. Okay. When you go hungry, you have to go hunt local wildlife with your little axe. And so the path you take through this terrain will determine the abundance of resources. So while the tundra might be easier to build on and supply you with decent food, the lack of trees can stop you dead in your tracks. Literally. So as time progresses into winter, days will get much, much shorter. And with the night comes the beast. The beast is a rarity during the day, but at night it is sure to stalk, and it's got a hankering for you. The beast has been pursuing you your entire journey. If it can get you out alone in the wild, you best get running. So if you get chased by the beast, you can keep running, or you can hide in your train until morning, or until it gets bored and ambles off. But you gotta watch your hunger meter. Your home could be your coffin if you don't have sufficient food.
And of course, time while you're hiding,
yeah, if you don't make it, game over.
Good pitch.
So the game ends. The game ends when you either get eaten or you reach civilization on the other end of the map. Other bits too I should mention is you can backtrack and create diverging paths. So if you have a heavily forested area you want to keep going back to, you can. But be warned that because of the foul weather and the beast, your previous tracks do deteriorate, meaning you can only go back as far you can only go back to a certain point before those rails have disappeared.
That's fair.
There's other wildlife that can kill you. A bear can give you a good amount of food, but the risk to your health is pretty high. And as implied, there are day and night cycle. So as the game progresses and winter settles in, the ratio between day and night will start to favor the night, which means the beast will be out longer. So time is of the essence. And that is, I should just call it the beast, but, and that is Night Rails.
All right.
Good.
Thought maybe if we ever have a sequel for this, instead of just having one guy, it could be like a combination of this and like Pikmin, in which you have like little crews of people, some to build the rails, some to go food, and some to chop down trees wherever you go. But that means you got more people to feed, and of course, as the beast has more targets to kill.
Okay.
You could also go the multiplayer route, make it kind of like a Don't Starve sort of thing.
Ooh, yeah.
Playing with more people, but again, you'd have to feed more people. It's the same amount of resources. It's got to get stretched a little farther.
Kill more squirrels.
Yeah.
All right. Are there NPCs along the way, or is it just you?
I think it's just you.
All right.
Unless you can think of a good NPC.
Strategically placed traders. So if you have an abundance of one material that you're not really using, might get lucky and find somebody who wants that.
That would
be
be
something
good.
you do want.
Cool. See, that's why you're here, Dom. Thanks for the input.
You are the receptionist at one of the most successful corporations in the country. The boss man has decided that he's not seeing a single client today because he's got better things to do. As the first and only line of defense against the waves of hungry clients looking for a meeting, it's your job to deter, distract, and deceive everyone that comes through your door. Can you juggle the swarms of irate businessmen and women until your shift is over? Grab your coffee and your clipboard and find out. So, as I said, you play a receptionist in an office building, and clients are going to come in and tell you that they need to meet the boss. And your job is to make sure that that doesn't happen. So, clients will get angrier the longer you make them wait, and they won't fall for the same excuses over and over again. So you'll have to mix it up, and you'll have to gauge each and every person you talk to know what you've already told them, how prepared they are for their meetings, so you can respond appropriately. Bill here, he has an appointment, so you can't tell him that he doesn't. You can try, tell him, I don't see your appointment in the computer. And if Bill's wishy-washy, maybe he'll leave. But the more prepared the client is, the less your excuses are going to work on. So you want to try lying instead. Tell him, hey, he's on floor 24. Go head up and check. That's going to keep Bill occupied for a while. He's going to go to floor 24. He's going to look around. He's not going to see his meeting.
Oh, I was hoping there's only 23 floors.
Goes up to the roof, yeah. But when he comes back down, he's going to be upset. You lied to him. He didn't get to his meeting. So it's a constant juggling of everyone you've got to make sure you keep them all pacified for as long as possible. You've got an array of excuses, like I said, to him. Tell him he doesn't have a meeting scheduled. Give him another form to fill out, or pretend you don't speak English. That's a bit of a gambit, because if it turns out the client speaks, tell him you speak Spanish. If the client tells you that he also speaks Spanish, now your whole HUD changes. All of the dialogue's in Spanish. You got to make that work for as long as you can. And then if you can make it, if you can keep everybody occupied until your shift ends, then you're good. You get to go home. It's not your problem anymore. But if you can't, they're going to get pissed and they're going to riot.
Spider Beast.
Yeah, they're mad. They're mad. I'm also thinking maybe there's an upgrade system where each day you do well, your boss gives you a bonus because he wasn't disturbed, and you can use that to improve your waiting room. Maybe some more chairs, maybe a nice aquarium to keep the clients occupied for a little bit longer. They're staring at the fish. Maybe they're not thinking about their meeting. Put in a water cooler or a coffee machine. Keep everybody down just a little bit longer. And I'm going to call it, I'll see what I can do. It took me a while to come up with a name for that, but I like that one.
That's a good one.
That's good.
Hey, well done.
Yeah, well done.
Hold on. Here.
Thank you.
Hold on. Is there any coming back from when they start rioting? Or is that game over?
That's the game over state.
Okay.
So I'm thinking either it's one long go where you're just maybe it's not like a till your shift ends thing. Maybe it's just to keep them occupied as long as possible for the high score. Or it happens, in days. You're making it through a week or a month or whatever, and each day you got to meet 5 o'clock, and then you can go home. And then as the difficulty progresses, more and more clients come in, and they're less and less susceptible to like the weaker excuses.
That bit with the Spanish, that's a brilliant touch where it changes all the options to Spanish.
I gotta be honest, that wasn't all my idea. I was in a chat last night and someone suggested I did come up with that the language changes once you admit that you don't speak English, but the actual excuse of not speaking English was someone else's idea. Gotta give them props. Although I don't remember who it was. So
I have a question. Okay, do the clients have any tells?
You can see, as you're talking to a client, you can see his face, and that face will change depending on how angry they are. What with the pixel style, it might be difficult to include any sort of tell, like
give him a
LA
stress
Noir
meter
style. Yeah, well, see, the thing is, I like the mechanic of Papers, Please. That was part of the inspiration, where they don't give you like a game heads up to tell you what's going on. You actually have to like just pay attention to the content in the game in order to make your decisions, which I think is cool.
What if there were like you have, I guess, a fail-safe, like the fire alarm? Like when you panic, you can just pull the fire alarm or set the fire alarm off, and they'll just buy you some time. Or like a burglar alarm
on the desk or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can only use it like once per shift. And
somebody somebody gave me one of those last night too, a security guard. Like you can take one guy out of there, like pretend he's being belligerent security guard, and he takes him out. But you only get one, can't do it again. And I like that, with the fire alarm too. It's your little trump card.
Can you make this game?
Well, Neil told me there's a game jam going on next weekend, and unfortunately I probably won't be able to do it because now I have other obligations, but I was going to try to do this. My biggest hurdle with making games is I'm just so damn slow. I don't know if I could pull it off in a weekend. I could probably do it, logistically, but maybe not in time for it.
I would like to see this game.
I kind of want to do it. I was when you first asked me to be on the show, I'm like, I can come up with a throwaway idea. I want to make it good because I want to, want to press these guys and I want to make some entertaining content. And then I came up with this and I'm like, this is actually really good. I kind of want to make this game. if I do say so myself.
Last week, I had the challenge of a nightmare party game. It seemed like a pretty simple thing to do, right? You whip up a bunch of things people are afraid of. Spiders, sharks, heights, being buried alive, falling in pieces, your teeth falling out, all that good stuff. And then you just make mini games out of it. All right, so here are 4 ghouls and Dave. Right? So Dave has a lot of fears in his life, right? And each of 4 players control one of these ghouls who has to go into Dave's dreams and either make the nightmare come true or be Dave and fight the nightmare and make sure it doesn't come true. And it's always randomized. So you might be playing as Dave or you might be playing as one of the ghouls. In one, you're burying Dave alive. Okay? So Dave is trying to climb out of this hole and he can get pretty far, but if you're one of the ghouls, you can whang him with the shovel and he falls back down. But if Dave gets out and escapes, he wins. However, these guys are trying to dig dirt on top of him and try to hurry up, and they're fighting each other too. You can hit each other and throw each other into the ditch, and it's kind of a free-for-all brawler style thing. I like the idea of you being able to beat each other up, because I feel like a party game is that much more fun when you're not doing it right. Sharks. Sharks at the beach, all right? Each character controls a shark, and David needs to make it back to the beach. The shark attack is sort of a slow movement. You need to sort of plan it out. So you can't just tap A and bite. It's more like roar, right? So you need to sort of time it and Dave can zigzag around and avoid it. So you've got another thing here where either you eat Dave and you get 2 points, or you are Dave and you escape and you get 3. And then here's another one. Here's heights. Dave's climbing a radio tower, right? And you play as these sort of harpy birds, each with your color skulls. And you land on him and try to shake him off, and he can hit you or bat you back. And there's little channels here where he can jump to the other side and climb up, so he can avoid you. But as soon as he gets to the top, Dave has conquered his fear of heights. And at the end of, whoever gets to 10 points first wins, and that's the ghostest with the mostest.
At the beginning of the night, everyone playing is presented with a grab bag of different fears, and you pull fears out of the bag and put them in your corner, and then those are the methods with which you will try to kill Dave in each dream segment. Like someone grabs sharks out of the bag, and then when the shark segment comes up, they're the one trying to kill Dave via the shark fear, and everyone else is trying to prevent you, because if he dies via sharks, then that's the point for you, because that's the one you grabbed in the beginning.
Okay. So here's another one where I thought, okay, it's a Game Boy game, and you have to go through the maze that is Dave's brain. So you can tell that I was like overcomplicating things. Like, oh, look, there's a skeleton. Oh, here it comes. Punch him. You punch him out with your skeleton fists. But that didn't happen either. So anyway, there's a bunch of random ideas that might be Nightmare Party Game. Well, we'll figure something out. We got until next episode, right?
Yeah.
Whenever we decide to do that.
This was fun. Dom, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks you. Thanks for our special guest, Dom Venutti.
This has been super fun.
Don Venutti.
Maybe one day we'll get 4 people in here.
Imagine even being in the same room. My God, what a thought. Anyway, see you next time.
Peace out.
Bye.